Hi, so I want to start doing more on this channel, and I also want to do more with video game collecting, so I thought it would be good to show you guys my video game hunting. Now, I have a lot of stops to talk about, most of which I don't have any footage of because I kind of feel weird recording a garage sale or a flea market. I feel like an oddball walking around filming that. But the first two stops were garage sales. First one had absolutely no games, but a lot of books and army clothes. Second, there's no one there. Absolutely nobody there. So I decided to go to the flea market because I was in that area. And there were games here and there, but they weren't really worth the price. Except when I stopped at one seller who was selling the games for $5 each. I picked up 6 of them, got the price down to $20 for the lot. Now, the only 2 games that I have in the case are these 2. Now, Lego Harry Potter isn't worth a lot. I didn't really intend on picking it up, but I figured I may as well throw it in the pile in case this seller knew what the games were worth and it didn't look like I was buying all of the expensive games. And I also kind of wanted to use it to haggle if I needed to, like ask for a price for all of it and then say, oh, so if I throw this one out, can I get a better price? That sort of thing. I ended up not needing to, so I didn't really need this Lego game, but I'm glad to have another Lego game on the Wii, because I already have a lot of them after finding them for really cheap at, I believe, a Goodwill. So my Lego games on the Wii are growing. But more interesting than that is No More Heroes 2 on the Wii. Now, I believe this is a $20 to $30 game, and she wanted $5 for it. Of course, I paid more, like $3.33. It's complete. I didn't test out the disc, but I don't intend on reselling this, although I do want to make my money back in other ways. Now, I wasn't sure as to whether or not I wanted to sell it when I bought it, but the more I thought about it, the more fond I grew of this game, the more I liked having it in my collection. So, probably here to stay, may resell it eventually. Hopefully I don't have to. But the other games, which only had discs, included Spyro 2, Crash Bandicoot 3, Crash Bandicoot Wrath of Cortex, and Crash Bash. Now, I ended up not being able to sell Crash Bash as I intended because there was a big ring scratch on it, so it probably isn't going to work, and I sure as hell can't sell it. So it's probably going to sit in my collection. Don't know if I'll resurface it or what. So fast forward a week ago to the next Friday. I was hanging out with my girlfriend and we went to a couple thrift stores. First stop was a Purple Cow in Baton Rouge. The first thing I saw was these Beanie Babies, but I didn't see any rare ones, so I ended up passing on them. Now, looking through the discs, there were a couple interesting titles, as well as sports games and a movie on the PSP, but nothing worth picking up. So next stop was a Goodwill, and I tend to have more luck at Goodwills. So when I walked in, I saw all of these video games in the case, which kind of got me worried because it looks like, especially Goodwills, are marking up video games simply because they're video games. And a lot of the games in the cases, I find, tend to be marked around eBay prices. So stopping to look at the media section, DVDs and CDs, there's absolutely no games. It looks like they took every game and put them up front. They did have a couple of NSYNC albums though, and I think a Hanson one, but I decided to skip on those. However, not far from here, I did see a Guitar Hero controller for the Wii. I have like 3 of these for the PlayStation 2, but I thought the Wii one was interesting since you could use the Wii remote you already have instead of having to keep track of a wireless receiver. Looking more towards the electronics and stuff, I see 4 Wii Fit boards, which I'm just not really interested in at the moment. I'd like to have a Wii Fit board eventually, but not right now. There was a steering wheel for the Xbox. I don't know if it was the original Xbox 360 or what, but I wasn't terribly interested in it. I don't really intend to collect for Xbox anyways. Now in this bin, there was another mystery Guitar Hero controller. It was wireless and missing the receiver, so I passed on it. However, in this basket over here with these miscellaneous wires, I did pick up a PlayStation component cable. I know these work for both the PS2 and the PS3, and I have two PS2s and only one of these. I decided to pick it up. At the very least, someone out there has a PlayStation that needs one of these. So out of the case in the front, I picked up Zoo Tycoon in the small box and Dirt Jockey on the PlayStation 1, complete. I bought Zoo Tycoon because I already have the complete collection in the jewel case, but the second disc didn't work, so I would like to have an upgrade. And I bought Dirt Jockey because I felt kind of weird buying stuff from there that I didn't intend to resell. Looking back on it now, I shouldn't have bought it, but if you want Dirt Jockey on the PlayStation, then it's on eBay. I ended up spending exactly $9.30 after tax. Now the next day, I woke up early to go to a neighborhood-wide garage sale event. Now this one neighborhood had 15 to 17 people having garage sales on the same day at the same time. So we stopped at about 15 of them or so, and only 2 of them had things that I was interested in. The first place we stopped at, the lady was still setting up. It was weird because the Craigslist ad said the official time started at 7, but the sellers thought more like 8. So we got there, she was setting up, I see a Wii, I ask if there's any games, she comes up with the typical Wii shovelware type crap. I offered her $10 for the system, she accepted, and I asked if she would throw in 2 games that I was interested in, and she agreed. Now these 2 games were Mario Kart Wii, in the wrong case, and Arc Rise Fantasia, again in the wrong case. Now I intended on selling both of these, but it turns out that Arc Rise Fantasia doesn't work. It just brings up an error and locks up the system, tells you have to restart, even if it's not in the Wii Disc channel. So that's a bit of a bummer. There isn't a whole lot of scratches on it, so there's probably 1 or 2 scratches that are too deep and probably won't even benefit from being resurfaced, so that's a shame. And as much as I would like to keep Mario Kart Wii, I would like to have it at least in the case, and it's so common that I'll probably find it again anyways, and then it'll be a quick sale. I don't have very many Mario Kart, or Zelda games, so I'm always on the lookout for those, but they're always more expensive than I want them to be. So now the second garage sale that actually had something I was interested in had these Behringer, not sure how to pronounce that, but they had these headphones. She wanted them for $1, I took it, and they don't work. Now the rest of these garage sales at this event were completely dry as far as video games go. Although this one person did say that somebody came in earlier and bought all of their Wii stuff. It sounds like this person was probably a reseller, that's kind of their MO, getting in way early and just robbing everyone else of their opportunity. But it's fine. We headed back home, and on the way we stopped at a couple other garage sales. Most of them had nothing at all, although there was this one place that had a lot of stuffed animals, including these black-faced dolls, which is kind of a weird sight, but no games. The next garage sale that we went to, we asked if there were any sort of video games, which there wasn't anything on the table they had. But the guy went into his home and pulled out a whole bunch of Xbox games. Says he wants $0.25 for each. So I looked through these Xbox games and I don't see anything that's really worth much. Nothing I'm terribly interested in. And as I'm taking my time looking through them, he says, just give me $5 for all of them. So I'm like, I might as well. I can look through them at home, see if there's anything worth it. So I picked them up, put them in the car, and we go to a garage sale that is just within walking distance of there. Now this lady didn't have a whole lot of games, at least none that she was willing to sell. She pulled out Just Dance 3 and Family Party Fitness Fun. She also says that she has these little connector things that she's willing to get rid of. Now these were Wii Motion Plus connectors. She wanted 2 of them for $5. I asked if she would throw in the 2 games, and she agreed. Now I'm not too terribly interested in these games, although I know my girlfriend does like Just Dance, so I'd like to have a game on my own console so I can practice and show her up. So that was it for that adventure. I got home and the first thing that I did was plug in the Wii and hit the eject button, and sure enough, out came Game Party, which is one of the cases that I had with the wrong game inside of it. So now, after switching the box to the one that wasn't warped to hell, I have a complete copy of Game Party, which I guess it's a pretty cool title to have. I'm not really going to complain. And after looking up these Xbox games, I find that one of these games is actually worth something, and that is Fusion Frenzy. And there's also another one, Shenmue 2? This was in the wrong case. I asked the guy if he had the case for it or the games for the cases that didn't have discs. He said no, but I ended up picking up anything anyways. So I intend on selling those, although it doesn't look like it's going to be a quick sale. Now, I'm not sure what I want to do with the rest of these games because, as I said, I wasn't really intending to collect for any sort of Xbox console. But now that I have all these games, I might as well get a console and play them. I am a pretty big fan of first-person shooters, although I preferred them on the PC. So 2 days later, and it is today, and I intend on going to some thrift stores. So hopefully we'll have something interesting to show. So I'm going to stop recording and I will be back, maybe tomorrow. So I'm back, and I only stopped at Goodwill since that was the only one that was open at the time that I was able to go. We have a couple of PC games in the small box. First up is Rise of the Argonauts, which I thought was kind of interesting, but it doesn't really matter because the disc is scratched to hell and it doesn't work. Next up we have One Must Fall Battlegrounds. Now, when I was looking at these games, that's when I really figured out that I'm a sucker for small box PC games. Not sure why, but I am. But at any rate, this looks like a pretty interesting fighting game. Next up, we have some PlayStation 2 games. First is the B-Movie game, a hidden gem, probably. Then we have DDR Max 2. I'm pretty sure this had some sort of pad, but I think we can play without it. And we have Guitar Hero 5 on the PS2, which means I have pretty much all of the Guitar Hero games. I still want Metallica, but I kind of want it on the Wii now that I have the Wii controller. Now, this trip to Goodwill cost me exactly $10. It was going to be $10.30-something cents, but the guy at the register was like, whatever, I'll cover it. So after a while, here's all the stuff I sold. I ended up selling that Lego Harry Potter game because I feel like I'm not going to play the games I do have until quite some time, and Lego Harry Potter was worth more than the other games. I'm also not particularly interested in the Harry Potter franchise, so I figured it would be pretty easy to let it go. We sold all of the PlayStation games, and on the Xbox we sold Fusion Frenzy and the Splinter Cell games that I actually had the discs for. But I get to keep the Ghost Recon games, so that's fun. And it doesn't look like any of the other Xbox games are going to sell, so I'll probably just get an Xbox and collect for it. So considering everything that I paid and everything that sold, and even considering the cost of the packaging that I used to ship them, overall all of this cost me $5.56. And as much as I wanted to be up, I can't really complain because I have a black Wii, which is a $60 or so value. And the sold listing that I'm showing here didn't even have the Wii Remote with the Wii Motion Plus built in, which I know is worth more and much more sought after. But other than that, and the fact that this comes with the stand, it seemed like a pretty comparable sale. Not to mention that I have No More Heroes 2 on the Wii, and Zoo Tycoon Complete Collection, which I was, again, surprised to see how much it was worth. So that's going to be it for this video. Overall, I'm very satisfied, and I'd like to make more videos like this, although it'll probably be after the holiday season, because I kind of have a lot going on. But I hope you enjoyed.